could work. The matter of it is, without the proper power source, I won't be able to do anything with it. Further examination and review of material found in the remains of the fourth ship, it is possible the Netherlands had possession of a suitable power source. Right. If I can find whatever it could have been, it might work at least as a temporary solution. So that's something to consider. And here... Thankfully, Ren agreed to let me hold on to it. At least temporarily. It is something that can be utilized, but it's in perpetual pieces. If that can be controlled, or if at least a part of it can be taken off, we might be able to jumpstart a spell jammer, potentially. But how is the question? There's a method to it, there must be. Oh, it will be found. For now, this needs to remain in deep storage. But it's best kept safe in my keeping for now. I was able to get the snow to stop coming through the roof. That's bothersome. Where did I put them? I suppose no time like the present to actually read through these. Findings from the Withered Woods. It is a peculiar place, looking more like a reflection of our own world, but fragmented and malformed. There are many dangerous things there, be it spirits, the terrain, or even the place itself. As odd as this might sound, it feels as if the whole place is alive in a way. It is almost as if when I go there, it listens to and watches me alongside the spirits who I know do. The spirits themselves are mostly benign, though I've learned that there are certain rules that must be followed here, which I will list later. It is of utmost importance that these rules are followed, lest you attract the ire of the hostile spirits. Unlike what I hear from our own world, the whisperings of the spirits here change volume dependent on what is going on. At home, their volume was mostly stagnant unless I was focusing on them, but here, they respond to my actions. Casting spells of any sort makes them get louder. The louder they get, the more spirits approach to join the cacophony. If the spirits go silent, it seems that terrible spirits come to hunt due to the noise. I've never seen any myself, and don't know what they're capable of, but if they're able to make an entire area go dead silent just by their presence, they must be dangerous. Precautions for entering the Withered Woods. Refrain from using magic if at all possible. Do not wear armor. It seems to injure living beings for some unknown reason. Be respectful to the spirits. Disrespect is one of the most dangerous things, as unlike with conventional interactions, these spirits can interact with people here much more freely. Make sure to have a totem on you and always remember where the nearest mirror is. This is how you easily enter and leave the place. While I can enter and leave without a mirror or totem, it is merely a benefit repaid to the debt of me being both a practitioner of magic and a medium. I'm not sure if it's possible to pacify the spirits yet, or if I can communicate with the greater thing I mentioned earlier. If I make a breakthrough on that before my fire burns out, I will make note of it in a separate book, likely. James Corinne. General Shadecliff, old town predating the ruling Witherwoods dynasty by at least 400 years. The buildings and fortifications on the hill's edges show a distinct lack of stone masonry, instead favoring wood due to its abundance around the town. While the defensibility of the town may seem lackluster, it is important to remember that the hill that it is situated upon is what makes it harder than most other towns in the area to be attacked. Climbing a hill that proves difficult to climb from most angles under normal conditions is time-consuming and dangerous, doing so whilst being shot at by archers, a larger number of magic users. Since the Witherwoods have the leading family... Perhaps I may be a bit restless. Experiments. Mayhaps I could do something with that. Why do I have a coffee place? I hate coffee. Let's see. Anti-magic slash, draining zone, and draining crescent slash. Holding it causes passive drain to the will. The sensation is tingly, but I know for a fact that despite my slight mixed pleasure at the feeling of my hands falling asleep, likelihood is this is not a benign weapon to be using without some measure of caution. No time like the present. Whoop. Bit out of range there. And yet it does not seem to use will drain, or drain any will for its abilities. Woof. So it does not affect me if I am holding it yet. The abilities do not affect me while I hold it, but it will drain passively as I do. So the biggest danger of utilizing this is the fact that it will drain the will passively. But if its abilities do not alone inflict this will drain, and is simply a passive, if one would have enough will to simply keep utilizing it, then that would mean that one could use the abilities endlessly as long as they have any fraction of will inside of them. Utterly fascinating. If the other relics are like this, then that could That could mean untold danger or strength for anyone that holds it. No wonder Firo asked me to start looking into these things. And no wonder Ren wanted dual custody of it for the moment. This could mean all the difference. And it could mean even more so for the fact of if it's properly studied and what it can be applied to. Find a nice place to sit, perhaps. Good evening, Chomsky. The process leaves me to wonder what exactly do the other relics do under that note, and whether one's even been found at this point. That is the question. It's just a wonder of the how and why. There she is, there she goes. Mayhaps it would be worthy of it to go into the basement and study for now. How does that sound? You're right. Might be able to figure something else out about it with time. For now, though, it may be of benefit to keep searching for where these relics lie, and perhaps wherever Fiora was pointing me to before. But the question is, there's a whole world of people who are likely equally interested in these things. So the matter of it comes down to who's already found what, and how exactly can we benefit from these. It's also a matter of a large if of what Regulus intends to do with them. We may be able to find out more, but I just need time. I should check on Miss Ellie.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I am fine. How are you?
Great.
Are you certain?
As great as one can be.
Have you been crying?
Nope.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not particularly. Just some mild stressing about fucking everything in my life. But it's fine, because when have I not had a panic attack in the past however long I've been here?
May I come in?
Yeah.
Do you want me to shut the door?
You can.
I like what you've done with the room.
Yeah, I needed foliage. I was gonna do what I normally like to do, but then if I did, I think I would have just delved further into a panic attack. All the time.
Memories?
Memories. I mean, this is a memory. This is a memory. Hold on.
Are you certain you want to leave those on the floor?
I'll pick them.
May I look at one of them?
Go ahead. Memory, 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 memory. I reloaded my shader packs. Memory, memory, memory. This entire fucking box. This stupid gem on my head is. Everything's a memory, Andr. Absolutely fucking everything. I mean, you're a memory. Absolutely everything in my life is a memory to when things were great and then they were not great and then you know when all of my friends died or disappeared or got consumed by a skulk monster and then I get consumed by a skulk monster twice in a row, might I add you. And then you know she's gone, so that's fucking lovely, and my best friend killed her basically, and so you know that's great, and my life's going great, Andr. I'm doing swimmingly.
You say she. Who are you referring to?
My other half, my other soul, the blonde bit that you see in my hair, her. I was split into two basically. So you have me, and then you have my other half of which was nicer and kinder and trusted people and cared, and she's gone. Great. So yeah, doing quite lovely, Andr.
Would you like something to eat?
I have potatoes and cooked chicken, but sure.
That's hardly a meal.
Cool. Well, we can go get a meal. I don't know anymore.
It might also help a little bit to get some fresh air.
You yeah.
You don't
True.
need to leave the archive if you don't wish to. But it may be better to get out of this room.
We're going this way.
It's not far.
Nah, I know. I've had enough time to myself in this archive that I know where everything is.
Most are unsettled by the cauldron.
I quite like it. Though the stuff inside of it reminds me of part of shit I used to smell on Dualitas. Don't question it. We probably shouldn't talk about it.
To be fair, Kyo quite literally drank irradiated water every chance he could get.
You know, I'm not surprised. Considering the fact that quite literally on Dualitas we used to have a small version of that cauldron, and I would quite literally just stand on it and inhale the smoke that came off of it. I don't know what was in it, but hey, I inhaled it and it was good, and might contribute to the fact why I had a skulk infection one of the. I had three. Three.
Let me grab
Hi.
grab something.
Okay. I mean, if you get 90 back up and running, you may figure out. May tell you everything.
He's told me some.
Hmm.
His systems are warbled, for lack of a better term, but he is still able to share bits and pieces of his memory. And he is able to do some processing. He just can't talk very easily, to my understanding.
Hmm.
It seems that using the text-to-speech seems to save a decent amount of processing power for him.
Interesting. I didn't know he had a text-to-speech process.
To be fair, I had to figure out how to rebuild him, so that might have been in part due to me. Just a fair warning, I do not believe I'm as good of a cook as Kyo is.
Okay, cool. Oh my god. Oh, it just gives me night vision. Interesting. Everything's so bright.
I got jump boost out of that.
Oh, lovely.
I'll take the bull back if you're done with it.
Bleh. What's up? Come on, Chewy.
Chewy.
I know he's on my floor. He's in my room right now. You don't want to be in here anymore?
If I may be so bold as to ask a question.
Yes.
What were things like for you before Dualitas?
That is a question that I cannot answer simply because I don't remember anything before Dualitas. I don't. I showed up in Dualitas and I have no idea about my life before that. I don't know if it had to do with me randomly showing up in Dualitas and being pulled there by the gods. I don't exactly remember how I got there or what happened. All I know is I got there and I thrusted into a battle of the gods, picking a side, and then I didn't pick a side, and then I picked a side for a third god, and then my life went tough. Shit. Or who's to say my life wasn't shit before Dualitas, but you know.
In just a moment. There we go.
Oh, light.
That might help with the cold a bit.
You know, the cold doesn't really bother me.
It doesn't necessarily bother me either, I just don't like seeing my breath in the air this much.
Oh, true. But yeah, you know, it's not like I really need to remember my life before Dualitas. I have no need.
I certainly wish I never had to go to Dualitas. I'll be honest. Truth be told, it seems like a remarkably shitty place.
I mean, it was all I ever knew. I mean, yeah, of course I probably knew of other places, but like, it's all I could remember.
It was home.
Yeah, it was home. Everyone on Team 3 was home, but there's only one person left from that, well, other than me, there's only one other person left from that team who's alive and breathing and in this realm. And frankly, well, you know, don't see or talk to that person right about now, so. Essentially, my home's gone. You know? Everyone I cared and loved for is either dead, missing, or is alive and breathing in this world, but simply tore apart my soul and forever left me to be in half of a whole. So, my home, for all I know and care, is gone at this point.
You may not enjoy hearing the words I'm about to say, but I know how that feels.
I mean, I expect you do. I mean, I don't remember a lot of my time from when I was with Anomaly, but there was a little bit about you. I don't really remember it, but I know you, and I know your face, and, other than the fact that I had an 80s in my world.
Should you like, I can tell you.
If you feel up to it, you don't have to.
My home, it was known as Dividair, otherwise known as designation B201.
201.
Where I come from, it was nothing like anything that we've seen hence. My world was medieval. The most advanced thing that anyone came up with was powered by steam. And then came Luke and Devon. Things went downhill from there for a multitude of reasons. Wars started, people became ambitious and power hungry. People I cared about left. Either they left or they died, and there was nothing I could do to save them. And lo and behold, one day, I decide that I need something to even the odds. So I make a stupid decision. I study something I don't fully understand and decide to ensure that the cost of it went to be no one but myself. And obviously, well, not obviously to you, but started off by quite literally blowing up in my face. I had shrapnel stuck in my chest for like a few days, I think, maybe a week. I was trying to make a weapon. Took an axe I had and filtered magic that I had no right to use into it. And then, one day I find a friend. Someone that I cared very deeply about. She was sick, and she wasn't thinking clearly. And in her confusion, she drove a blade through my chest.
That I get. Not so much a blade, but
I should have died, but I didn't. Instead, this came.
Oh, your scythe.
And into it a part of my soul. The emptiness takes a while to get used to.
Yeah.
It sucks. It truly does. You feel cold, you sometimes think that you can fill it with food and it'll go away.
You stress eat?
I certainly did for a time. What's worse, I started drinking at one point, and that didn't help.
Oh.
And alcohol is utterly disgusting. Like, you should see half the things that Luke and Devin brought into my home. Dragon Blood Ale being one of said things. Utterly filthy tasting.
You know, I heard about that on Dualitas. I wasn't exactly sure what it was, but hey, at least you didn't drink a vial of someone else's blood, and...
You want to know what's concerning? I actually have.
Oh!
Get this, said friend that stabbed me, obviously she got better, but obviously scars like that don't fade, and you can keep that. I don't want to drink it. But get this.
It's not that bad.
Of course you'd like it. There's dragon blood in it.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, Andr.
Meaning quite literally, that is dragon blood ale made with actual blood from a dragon.
Huh.
You are sipping that quick. What? How is your alcohol tolerance?
I have no idea. When I tell you I don't know anything about from before Dualitas, I don't know anything. I don't know how much I've drinking in the past. I've had a couple. I mean, there was a couple times where I've had alcohol on Dualitas, but like they were like small like shots. Do a bunch of those. Sometimes they had blood. Sometimes I don't know what else was in them. A mad scientist gave them to me, and then I proceeded to get a skull infection from said mad scientist. So maybe bad part, but I trusted them, and they were my friend. And so I don't know how high my alcohol tolerance is.
Mine is low.
Interesting.
Which is surprising considering the shape-shifting bit.
I was about to say.
But, believe it or not, apparently, well not apparently, one of the species of my world had very powerful healing properties in their blood, so she made a habit of bottling her own and keeping it as a healing item.
Huh.
It was incredibly effective, but utterly vile in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can't help but laugh at that looking back at it.
I mean, my looking back at it, it's more like, why would you... Why? Why would I drink that when I don't know what's in it?
Exactly.
Made me go blind for a moment. But it also made me like super quick and really strong, and so I was like, I would do it again, but why?
It's kind of just like a plug your nose and hope the taste fades quickly, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. By the end of it, of things that went down in my world, Luke and Devin left with a significant amount of people that came from my world too. And things were quiet. I wasn't ready for it when Anomaly came. Truth be told, I don't think anyone would be reasonably.
For someone who's dealt with a lot of Skulk-related people before Anomaly showed up in my life, no one's ready for it. He is something else entirely.
And what's worst about it is, in a technical sense, I'm the one that brought him to our doorstep. Me from another dimension came walking into ours. He wanted sanctuary because his home was entirely fucked. And lo and behold, it turned out he was a proxy for it. We ended up walking him right up to a way for him to get in. You heard that too?
I hear it and I can... more souls than ours.
Shall we?
I guess so.
I am obliged to warn you that this could be because of the bounty that's on me.
Oh, great. Lovely. It's fine. It's going. Yep. Okay. I expect.
First sign of trouble, you go back inside. Understand?
Okay. I mean, I can hold my own, but like, okay.
As far as I'm concerned, you are still recovering.
Hmm.
I'm gonna move over.
Let's just get this done already.
Interesting doors.
Jinx?
Very impressive. Hi, 80s.
So, I take it you're 80s.
You would muse
I come for
correctly.
I come for no fight. I've heard stories, and I'd rather not touch it.
You seem to have me at a disadvantage then.
Hmm?
I do not know who you are.
The name is JAG3R, also known as Jaeger.
You're a construct.
I am. I run MIPS, and I'm the mayor of Port Spiral.
So you're its leader then.
Friendly advisor.
So does that mean I have you to thank for imprisoning her?
No, it wasn't my choice. Hell, I actually saved from her losing her head. Everybody else wanted to offer right then and there.
Ah, I didn't.
Yes, but you sounded way too happy at the idea.
I wasn't happy at the idea. Nice to see you again, 80s. Always a pleasure.
Okay, so he does know. I was trying to decide whether or not to pretend that I never met Miss Vera.
He's
Oh
bad
no,
for
they
you.
know.
Sorry, you spooked me.
I'm sorry.
I'm a friend, so don't worry.
Sure that a lot.
Take a few steps back then, would you please?
Jinx.
Jinx, please step to the archive.
Fun.
You're releasing her to me?
She's not allowed back in towns allied with Port Spiral. If she is, it's on site. It was the only compromise that I could get.
Hi.
Miss Ellie?
Hmm. Oh, that was to say Pat, but it's fine.
Could you
Can't spell.
could you take her to the medical wing for me?
Can I grab something from the end chest really quick? Before we
Go ahead.
Do as you like.
If I can hit it, that would be amazing.
You have to get it from an angle. Oh, okay.
I can't grab it. Wow.
Uh,
the person aside that you done for.
May we speak further outside?
I'm inside.
One moment.
If you would please come along, Mr.
Jaeger. Thank you for doing this without any problems. I've had too much lately.
You and I both. But I would be remiss if I did not say that she had no reason to deserve imprisonment.
Well, you can understand why.
The blood is on my hands, not hers.
Yet she feels just as guilty.
But to be held as a criminal for it.
That was them. And it's why she's here.
If it wasn't for the mayor over here, Jinx might have just died. A lot of people wanted her head instead of just banishment. Though I should give myself credit in the work as well.
I never wanted trouble from Port Spiral.
This is not trouble from us. It's trouble with a certain few within it.
I am making
Some
that
of us
more-
know not to go after you, so
I am making it more as a generalized statement.
understood.
I can understand feeling wronged about what I did. And your peers are warranted to feel that way. I would say by most of every account.
Oh. I have been busy and been very out of the loop. I know there's multiple dimensions now. Haven't been able to travel yet. But I know there's a bounty on your head for a reason. Whether you want to disclose that or not.
Whether you choose to believe it or not is over a crime I did not commit.
I will take your word for now. I try to get all sides. So I will be eventually taking a trip to the other dimension to learn more.
And then if you want to get that side of the story, you would do best to speak with Regulus.
Who would that be?
King of the civilization and the castle sitting on the other end of that portal.
Understood.
He's camped out somewhere in a structure not terribly far from Miss Alice's house.
He's here in this dimension? Or the other?
In this one.
Hmm.
He's remained for whatever purpose in dealing with the night.
Ah. Yes, this unfortunate glitch. It has severely messed with my time cycle.
It's certainly jarring to have to wake up to it.
If I also understand correctly, you're another worlder.
As some of your people have begun calling us displaced.
Ah, I'll take note of that. I harbor no ill will against you. Yes, you may have killed one of the people that resides in my town. There is some venom. But I need to find my information first.
Do as you will with that, then. I can tell tell you the story of it if you wish. I've told it to Miss Farah, however.
I would like to hear your side, because I've heard multiple, except for yours.
Though if I may cut in, would you mind if I headed to your library?
Be sure to
I did
return.
come here.
Be sure to return the books once you're done reading them.
I will. How do I open the door though?
Button panel on the right side.
Mm,
Button on the left.
thank you.
It took forever to get that door working. The hinges were rusted horribly when I first was shown the place.
Understandable.
Walk and talk.
Lead the way.
For fuller context of the events, Jinx had reached out to me some time ago. I met her when I was in Port Spiral getting groceries one day. Oh, I just stopped right here.
Oh,
The pond's frozen over. I normally use it for fishing.
oh, makes sense.
I befriended Jinx when I had gone on that grocery trip. We had a similar experience to draw from, since she confided me in some of her issues with an individual by the name of Marco. So she came here, much later, with desire to learn and train her abilities. She's a decent sword, so I let her have access.
Understandable.
At least to my somewhat understanding, this was something that members of Port were aware of. I had no intention of causing a stir. Realistically, I just wanted to be alone. But Jinx made a worthy trade for it.
What was the trade?
She gave me a purification flask for study.
Ah, yes, that debacle.
Seems that Port Sparrow had its own entanglements with corruption. Pity that it doesn't seem that your people learned anything from it.
It's got them all on edge.
And yet they're using lobotomized abominations to guard their prison cell. If my advice can be garnered for anything, it would be to kill those things before they can turn on you.
I've already made them promise that. The slightest move out of the norm, they are to be put down.
Good.
So far, they've been as delightful as wolves. They only attack when told to.
I would advise you not to trust it.
Never said I did.
Then you're smarter than most. Back onto the context, however. Jinx had one day written a letter to me. She requested that she be allowed to bring her brother along. I trusted her in her judgment, so I saw no reason not to. The two were around for a moment, and I had company over at the time. I asked Vex's intentions, and he set them pretty clearly. He came to claim the bounty.
Was anything else said from him? Or was that it?
Jinx did not take it kindly, but I didn't have any interest in spilling blood, so I gave him a choice. That we could either talk it out, or that he could walk away. and that it didn't need to go to that. He did not listen. So a fight began. My company helped me to defend me, and I was holding back. I had no intention of causing a death, but credit given to your man where it's due. He is an incredible fighter. I was being brought quickly to my last leg. Jinx had largely been standing by and watching. I would not have asked her to participate if I could have helped it. And if she did, I would have asked her to side with facts.
I regret not siding with them. And that's the reason why I stayed execution.
Choosing between friends and family is no choice at all. Jinx was wounded in the battle, and my friend and I were on our last legs. Vex and I both gave each other chances to yield, but I had the far greater advantage. There was no benefit to continuing it further. He was standing right here when I asked him if he did yield. He had every opportunity to escape. He simply said that he did not care.
Yeah, that sounds like Vex. Always headstrong. Always knew what he was doing. Reliable to a fault.
I don't hold any contempt against him personally. Not over money.
I don't know his true intention for the money, but I don't know if it was to help himself or the town.
Jinx left shortly after, and though she didn't take the time to get her wounds mended, I think she took his shulkers with her, and I was left with the body.
What did she do with it?
It didn't feel right to bury him here, and I couldn't go back to Port Spiral to do it, so I did a tradition that my people did, burial at sea.
So he could be anywhere. There's one thing I learned living here in Etheria. Nothing stays dead.
Revenants.
Revenants, zombies, skeletons.
My friend ran into this person. At least she said she did. I do not know what to think of it.
Tell me. Which person?
The friend I had here, who fought alongside me. Her name is Genevieve.
Ah. I think I've heard that name before, maybe in passing.
Another forlorn wanderer finding their way here. They tend to gravitate towards this place.
Yeah. Oh. Look at it. You're literally in a bowl inside of a mountain. This is a sanctuary. Nobody can see in.
Hasn't stopped people from doing so before.
No. Everybody has a little cat in them. Always a bit curious.
Mayhaps. Miss Ellie.
I'm sorry. I told Jinx to try to get some sleep before you start probing her.
Realistically, either she needs to go into the medical chamber or I can just bandage her wounds. I need to see how drastic they are.
She's laying down on one of the medical beds.
I should probably go cater to that.
I would wait
Give her a
just a
moment.
little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, let her rest after all of this craziness. Give her some of that, at least, for me. I gave her one final gift before she went in. Yeah, help her with that gift that I gave her. She lost her wings, so I hope she can create a new pair.
I'll see what I can do.
Needs a support system right now. Please. I hated to be doing this. I really do.
You have my word.
Thank you.
May I ask a favor?
Ask away.
If any of your peers are going to end up coming here for blood, please understand that I will defend myself if need be.
I've already made the point several times. Anybody with a bounty on their head would defend themselves.
Thank you.
But I will tell you, they're not coming for you. They're gonna come for her. That's the main problem. So both of you, thank you.
Miss Ellie.
I think I meant the other you.
No, Alessandra.
Yeah.
Jinx was telling me a little bit about her.
Yeah. She runs the armor shop.
Not surprised. Seems like something I would do.
The odd part of that is I was going to say, because you've been polite, I want to caution you of this. Do not trust her.
Why do you think I have her under favors? Seems to work well. She can't say no for some reason.
As a version of her, I would say be careful with those favors.
And there's always a catch. And there's always a benefit that nobody questions.
She can say no. She's probably choosing not to. It's what I would do.
I will keep...
Well, I am, yeah.
In any case, thank you.
Now I asked one more thing. As a man of science myself, I may return to talk about other dimensional stuff.
Do you want a library card?
Well, I'll have two. Also, I will note, try to come to MIPS sometime, while at least wearing something that doesn't make it look like you're you.
That's going to be somewhat difficult considering what is under the
I was
costume.
supposed to say, I don't know if that's possible.
Why? Oh,
Let me get
portal.
not necessarily. Let me get the jacket and hat off. Ah, right. I'm still in the helmet.
Oh, you
I'm
look a
rather,
little icy.
I'm rather notable in my appearance.
Did you get new clothes?
Oh, this is just what's underneath the jacket.
Oh! I've only ever seen them with the jacket, sorry.
It's not utterly polite to strip in front of a stranger.
Yeah, you still did it.
I took a jacket off in front of a stranger. I didn't change into an entirely completely different outfit.
Okay, well, hey, you can quick change. That's possible. I've done it before.
We do have a library.
I've seen...
Mainly. And it is outside the port, technically.
I have seen it before, and it is impressive. So, if you want to make it a mutually beneficial arrangement, then gladly.
But no word is to be spoken of it.
Not a soul. I know what I
And it must be
accidentally
going.
did, don't laugh. Good evening, then.
Please take care of her.
Of course. Fuck.
Be careful of the other me. I may not know a lot about her, but from what Jinx tells me, she seems a lot like how I was on Dualitas before I met everyone.
At least I could tell the difference between you two.
Mm.
I still have trouble with Hawthorne and Genesis.
The shocking part.
Well-
The shocking part is neither can I. And you people know Genesis better than people from B201.
I've only had a few run-ins. Grumpiest person I've ever met.
That's putting it mildly.
Like I said, a couple run-ins.
And you're lucky at this because I used to look a little. I'm guessing exactly like.
Your horns were more
Interesting.
curved.
Well,
I'm guessing. There's. I guess
You would do.
she just had one whole soul.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. You stole my line.
It's French. How can I steal your line?
Cause I say or.
Would you prefer I keep saying German? How to feed this in?
Please, that's your thing.
How did I get delegated to German being my thing?
I don't know. I just did.